Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Wednesday. Today was one heck of a day, and I wanted to talk about a specific trade that I took today that was very different. And actually, all those that are part of the Learn, Plan, Profit lesson library saw me take my position. They saw me lock in the profits. I think we had one of the most active just trading days today within the LPP group. I think it was an amazing live stream. I did a pretty bad job with my DGAS position, so for all those that saw, I had a 1,000 share position on DGAS. DGAS ended up selling off. I wasn't even paying too much attention on it because I saw value in it as a swing trade, so I was kind of ignoring it. I was day trading. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but I had a swing trade position that was doing its thing. And then I was day trading a couple other stocks. I was day trading JDST. I locked in a little bit over $600 on that one. I was day trading. I don't want to talk about that one right now. I was day trading TNDM, and I gave back profits. I was up $300. I took another position, and then I gave back like 300 of those profits. But there is one specific one that I wanted to talk about today, and that was ticker symbol UWT. I announced it in our Sunday Stock Talk. As many of you guys know, that throughout the week there's certain reports that come out, as in for these ETFs. Today is Wednesday, and 1 hour after the market opens, wherever it is that you are within the United States, right? Crude oil report comes out. On Thursdays, the natural gas report comes out. So that's tomorrow, right? And one of the things that it was literally I think it was like 7:29, and someone in the live stream was like, hey, when does that crude oil report come out again, and what ETFs are affected by it? And this is all I did. I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. I went on over and I looked at /CL. Looked at /CL, and right at that 7:30 mark, boom, huge sell-off. This is not like me. I usually don't trade aggressive, like volatile stocks. I trade very conservative in my eyes, like ascending uptrend patterns or horizontal patterns or dip buy opportunities. Nothing that's extremely sporadic. It's something that I've done maybe with, I can count with the fingers on my hands, right? The amount of times that I've actually done this. And on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, you can see that the drop that it had from around 749 all the way down to about 74.30. So it dropped quite a bit when it comes down to /CL. But why do I care about a future when I don't trade futures, right? Well, the thing that it correlates to is UWT, and this is right away. I mean, I trade these ETFs like week after week for months and years, right? So I'm very aware of what gets affected by what. So I saw that UWT was showing signs of a descending pattern. It was in between the middle and bottom view up. It was getting rejected intraday, right? And then I looked at, again, none of this happened. So obviously how it performed today, ended up performing exceptionally well. None of this happened. All I looked at was, I saw the 1 day, 1 minute chart. I took a step back, and then I looked at the 180-day chart. I saw that it was an ascending uptrend pattern. And then I saw that when it sold off, when it was, it showed signs of an uptrend, it consolidated. When it sold off today, because of that report, it pulled it back below this EMA line. And I viewed that as a dip buy opportunity. And this is something that I normally do. I've never done this with UWT or DWT, which are the two inverse ETFs for these crude oils. But one thing that I usually do it to is UGAS and DGAS. On natural gas, it's one of the things that is most exciting for the Learn, Plan, Profit members. There's usually one that goes up about 2.5%. There's one that goes down usually about 2.5% every single week. And usually what I do is whichever one, if there's one that's showing signs of an uptrend and that one falls 2.5%, then I'll buy the dip because I know that the overall direction is moving up. So it makes sense on why it will continue to rally. I've never done this with UWT. And the reason that, I'm talking about this is there's so many people, like after I locked in profits, a very common question that was brought up is, well, I'll show you guys right away. This was literally in 4 minutes, $146. My position size wasn't the biggest, but I just wanted to take a little day trade opportunity, wanted to, risk it to get the biscuit and have fun with it, right? And one thing that I noticed was, again, I don't trade these very often. I saw that it had an aggressive sell-off. I saw it really consolidate right around that $46 price point. When it started showing signs of an uptrend, my initial position was at $46.13. It started pushing up. It broke and got very close to this $46.50 price point. I locked in profits, if I'm not mistaken, at $46.49. And right as I locked in profits, a very funny thing that happens within the, our live trading sessions is that normally when I lock in profits, again, I'm very conservative. I locked in profits profits because I saw that it was approaching the EMA line in the middle VWAP, and its overall direction, before all of, again, none of this has happened already, right? It was getting rejected by this middle VWAP, right? So the middle VWAP was acting as a resistance. So it made sense to me on why it could peak out as it gets close to 46.50. So I didn't want to risk it. I locked in profits. I literally made, I think, at 1% or a little bit less. And then it continued to push up. It broke above the middle VWAP. It pulled back, validated as a support. And not only just that, but it made higher highs. And if you look at the 180-day pattern, right? Look how much it covered. It sold off all the way down to let's just say even $46. Let's not talk about the overall lows, but it hit highs of 50.75. That's over 10% growth that it offered today. Yes, it's up 4% on the day, but there's a lot of dip buy opportunity, right? So someone asked me, and this is a very common question that I get within the live stream, and this is why I'm making this video, is Ricky, like, how do you feel knowing that you took a position and you locked in profits too early? And I've talked about this multiple times. I locked in profits. I was given certain data that I could analyze. It was showing signs of a descending pattern. There was this dip buy opportunity, and because of this previous pattern, I saw that it was getting rejected by the middle VWAP. So that's all I could really go off of. Yes, I probably could have continued to day trade it and bought back in after it pulled back and made higher highs. I could have 100% done that. But one thing that I identified, and the reason that I originally sold, was that, again, it was showing signs of an uptrend. It was previously getting rejected by the middle VWAP, and it made sense to me on why that would act as a resistance. So anytime, and I know I've made this mistake multiple times, but anytime that there's any form of indication of a resistance and I don't take action and it ends up getting rejected, I get really upset with myself because I was aware of something that, a reason of maybe why I should have locked in profits or cut losses, and I didn't. And because of that action, I ended up being in the red or much more in the red than I could have prevented. Does that make sense? And that principle is much greater to me and much more important to me long term than making an extra 9% profit on the day. And the reason why is, as long as I continue to stay green, right? I made $146 in about 4 to 5 minutes. For all those that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit, again, they got to watch me trade live. And I did it in a way that made a lot of sense to me. And as long as I continue to focus on that and on that sole principle of trading patterns in which I understand and locking in profits consistently, I will minimize the amount of times that I discourage myself and focus on continuously growing my account. Again, I'm not here just to satisfy myself for today. I'm here to provide a potential career for the future, right? And if I want to do this 10, 15, 20, 50 years down the road, I need to make sure that I don't discourage myself. And if I was trading with a certain amount of money that might have been a lot, right? And it ends up getting rejected at that resistance of the middle VWAP, and I didn't lock in profits, right? Because that could have been a possibility. And then it ends up getting rejected. It makes lower lows. I end up having a stop loss out, and I end up in the red. Now I lost money when I was up. And it was an obvious, something that I could have followed to prevent that. So again, if you focus so much more on just taking action and listening to yourself instead of being greedy and thinking about how much more you can make, greed has to be one of the biggest killers within the market, right? Understand what you're trading, make sure that you consistently lock in profits, and always understand that you could always get back in. Understand that you have years and years and years to continue to grow and make money in the stock market. And the more that you try to expedite and aggressively take the approach, the riskier it will become. And that's really simply what I wanted to talk about. So many people were so focused on, well, Ricky, how do you feel about, that it covered, again, another 9% from when you originally sold that? Yes, it does suck. Trust me, it 100% sucks. And I get it. I wish I could have partaken in this would have gotten me to my weekly goal. One trade could have gotten to me to my weekly goal, but I didn't know it was going to perform the way that it did. It's much easier for me to, just review this now and say wow, I should have taken the position. But no, there is obvious reasons on why I locked in profits. And because of that, and that made sense to me, although I only made $146 on this trade, it made sense to me and I walked away green. And that's something that, again, 90% of the market can't do. Same thing when I was scalping JDST. JDST was trading in between the middle and top VWAP, and this was pretty much one of the most common day trades that I took advantage of today. I closed a little bit over $670 on the specific trade, and it was very easy for me. It was trading between the middle and top VWAP, and it's something that we cover. It's one of the most basic concepts that we cover in the Learn, Plan, Profit lesson library. Focus on whatever's actively trending up, and if it's trading in between the middle and top VWAP, understand the support and resistance kind of concept when it comes down to that. And that's really just it. So I just wanted to share my approach when it comes down to kind of like what I did well today. And yes, although I did leave a lot of money on the table, focusing not so much on how much money I could have made, but understanding that I walked away green. And again, if you just continue to do this and you could refine yourself and tweak certain things down the road, you can focus later down the road to be a little bit more aggressive. But as of right now, if you're someone that's just getting started, then it would make a lot of sense on maybe why just to focus on locking in profits and just continuously not being greedy. So I want to know what your guys' opinion is about what it is that I covered today. If you guys have any best practice or any experience that you want to share for someone that's just getting started, that either you were aware of a resistance and you didn't lock in profits, or you were aware of a descending pattern but you still entered a position, talk about your best practices and also talk about your mistakes in an effort to promote overall group growth. So I want to see if you guys have any comments whatsoever. So winning attitude is the long-term nice record. Appreciate that. And again, if you guys are having a red day and need a little bit more encouragement, check out my red day yesterday. Definitely was not the best day, and I really broke one of my rules, right? I'm currently in a swing trade position, but just because extended market hours are still open, I'm not going to talk about it, because after I made my video yesterday, there's still a couple people that messaged me because it was still open during extended hours. Again, I don't like talking about the stocks that I'm swing trading because people try to mimic our trades. And again, I'm trading something right now that doesn't have a full-on confirmation. So I would hate for someone to take a position on a descending pattern when you don't or are not aware of the risk. So I'll make a follow-up video later throughout the night, giving you guys an update on that position and what I plan to do with it. So I'm practicing to not being greedy with paper money, 100%. There's so many ways that you guys can practice it. And I'm just really happy to hear that, regardless, and this is the hardest concept, because you're going to see, even for myself, and I know I'm someone that's at fault for this. When I post I made $2,000 trading today, and it's YouTube, right? And we all have to understand that. And one of the things that it's like I think a double standard. Obviously we want to, as a YouTuber, right? If I could call myself that, I want to make videos and content that a lot of people find very entertaining. And one thing that I found is that people don't care, right? If I make money in the stock market, people generally don't care. My red trade videos, again, the feedback is much greater with that than when I locked in $2,000 profit. And one thing that I noticed is people generally just want to learn, right, from what it is that we're doing every single day. And I have found within the past 2 weeks, the videos that I've been making that are more directed to our audience when it comes down to actual interaction and feedback from one another have performed much better. So when I make videos about hey, I'm talking about a stock, comment down below both the pros and the cons of what you guys think, those videos and the overall interaction and what people and the feedback that I receive is so much greater than a video when I just say, hey, I made $1,500 today and this is how I did it. No, you won't really learn from that, right? And although that's the goal and that's what we want to get to, we need to make sure that we understand that that's something to work towards down the road. As of right now, I would really focus on understanding every single position that you take. And if you don't understand it, to take a step back and to manage your risk. Another thing is obviously learn how to manage your risk along the way. So if you're someone that's just getting started, I don't care if you have $100,000 just to blow. Just because you have $100,000 doesn't mean that you should fully invest in it, especially if you don't understand how to invest in the stock market. And then the last thing is understand that you're going to make mistakes. So with those mistakes, especially if you're trading with real money, it's going to cost you money. So that's why I always encourage you to start paper trading or simulation trading, or even just buy one simple share to test out the market and see if this is something that you can see success in. Focus on actually growing your account and not chasing the dollar value. And I hope that that's something that you guys could actually take from my videos. I'm really trying to make a transition. I mean, I feel like I still have to talk about the dollar value and post my profits and stuff like that, right? But I want to make sure that we're not obsessed with how much money it is that we make in the market, but more of what we learned from it and how to continuously do it. I find that to be much more important. So I don't care if you grew your account 1% today or 50% today, as long as you're consistently growing your account and you understand what you're doing, then that's what's important. So thank you guys again for your time. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. And if there's So the get rich mentality will ruin the market. You locked in profits, and that's a win in my book. I like that, Sergio. But yeah, so thank you guys again so much for your time. Again, if you guys want to stay connected with our free trading community, it's called TechBud Solutions. We're the largest one out there. We have a little bit over 160,000 members. It's that third link in the description. We offer a free Facebook group, and then once you get accepted, on the top pinned post, the first link, we offer a free Discord chat. Also, I talked about Learn, Plan, Profit. For those that are wondering what that is, if you want to be able to watch me trade live, it's simply just an option. It's not something that you have to do, but if you want to invest 30 seconds, feel free to check out that first link in the description, and I would love to be a part of your success and work with you on a much closer basis. I hope that I earned your thumbs up on this video. I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. I have class today, and we're going to be filming an extremely funny video for Instagram today, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, the link is down below. But if you don't, 100% you don't have to. So hope you guys have an amazing day, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.